Puts up a tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
It's population.
That's how you win a game.
It's population. We hustle every day to find picks. You can tell us if you want to get rich. It's population. We robbing Underdog and PrizePicks. We the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's population. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's catch. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Bookies setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the props till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the bros. Only with crawl, never reload. Renovated them out, amigos. We go with honest, we seeking the bloods. We know when a fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, they can't be good for my health. Some may call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks. Population for the win. Got my sips in by the buzzer now. Let the games begin.
Unbelievable. Just perfect. He did it.
It's population. It's population. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash.
We are live. What's up?
What is up? Sorry for the late start. Yeah, busy today, but we're gonna breeze through this somewhat small slate. We've got a nice little 8-gamer again. How we doing?
Doing good. My dog is jumping on me. If you could hear it, get off me because it's raining outside. I can't give her a walk. She's going crazy.
Oh man, dog days. Man, last night was awesome, dude. Swept all our main core plays. We had some alt lines in there, but the alt lines, man, I think I keep saying it, man, it's a marathon NBA season, and sometimes it's okay to eat the juice in the right situation. And yeah, I mean, Drew Holiday didn't get his full game points, but he got his alt. Talked about that. Zach Collins, birthday boy, came through with a miracle cover at the end with 30 seconds left, hit a 3 to get that 9.5 points. AD went off in the first half, especially fantasy. We said to take his first half point. It's always good to split him up like that with AD because he always has massive stock upside, and then always scoring upside as well. And then Cam Johnson, we got the news late that Cam Thomas was a late scratch. We had a 15-minute buffer, posted him on our Discord, saying jump on Cam Johnson. PrizePicks left him up for like 15 minutes after that Cam Thomas news, and he dropped 50 fantasy, and PrizePicks left him up at 27.5 fantasy, which was a joke. So he crushed all his lines, and and then Sexton got those first half points, and Clarkson stayed under the first half PRA. So our theory at the end of the stream yesterday came through on that rotation, and then our free throw made unders continue to be golden nuggets for us, man. In the right spot, right matchup, we'll continue to find those and target them. Both Luka and SGA went under the free throws. Even with OKC trailing the whole game and losing, and SGA playing full minutes, he still stayed under. So the process was right on that, man. But yeah, great day overall. And let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going today. A little less time for the stream today, but we're going to try to get through it. There's a lot of injury news today. We also hit our main 6-leg parlay with a lot of these alt lines that we went over. Almost a plus 200 payout there. So, yeah, solid day overall. But let's get to it, man. First game on the docket. This one is nasty, guys. I recommend staying away. Minutes are not secured for anybody. Projections are going to be impossible for both fantasy output, overall production, and projecting minutes, like I said. So Pelicans at the Cavs. We got the skeleton crew of the Pelicans. I mean, they're going to pull guys off the street here. They have no Ingram, no Murphy, and then all the other usuals are out. And now their starting center, the rookie Misi is questionable, downgraded. So yeah, they are thin, and they brought back Alfred Payton. He hasn't played since any meaningful basketball, was somewhat meaningful since the preseason. Just a few minutes in the preseason. So, I mean, he could start, or they could go Jamal Cain. We'll see. But even if he starts, I mean, his conditioning is not up to speed. So who knows how many minutes he can play? I mean, sure, he's going to have to play as many minutes as he can handle. But yeah, the only secure guys are Boston, Jeremiah or Robinson, and Javonte Green. That's about it. It's gonna be it's gonna be a mess, man. And they should get blown out here. 13.5-point spread. I'm surprised the Cavs. The only one that resting is as of right now is Garland. So Garland's out. So that means we're gonna get Ty Jerome starting probably. And when either Donovan or Garland is out, Jerome has been filling in nicely. We talked about that yesterday. He cleared his lines yesterday as well, even with Donovan and Garland playing. So maybe consider him for DFS. If you're playing DFS, don't mind him. I mean, he's playmaking, and he's getting the scoring done. So do we have lines for him? 14.5 points is pretty high. The assists, though, 7.5 this book has him at. Whew. But yeah, his playmaking, it's been on point. I mean,
I've never seen him like that. Ooh-wee, that's crazy.
That is crazy, man. And, you know, I think in blowouts, I think he's still going to go to the bench. He's not like he's going to play full-time with the cleanup crew. He might play a little bit of minutes more than, like, say, guys like Donovan, Mobley, and Allen, but he's an important bench piece right now for them. So, I mean, I don't expect him to be a cleanup guy. Yeah. Those are steep lines, man. But the points, I mean, he's gonna chuck here for sure. Easy matchup for him. Easy matchup for the entire front court of the Cavs too, man. I mean, because if Misty's out, then that means we're gonna get Trey Jameson starting, and he just gets cooked. He's just so slow defensively. So yeah, a lot of these guys like Mobley should eat. I mean, you could consider first half props here. They're not even offering Jared Allen first half points. They're not even offering. PrizePicks not even offering first half PRA or fantasy for Cavs. They know better. Only thing we have is Mobley's first half points. So that's gross. So not much here, guys. Not much here. And you know, Craig Porter's going to play a lot of minutes, and he can play make too. And we've seen him last year when Garland was out extended time. And there's periods where both Garland and Mitch were out. He was starting at point, and he was racking up assists. So yeah, he's at 5.5. I mean, these are just high lines. I mean, you got Craig Porter 5.5, Jerome at 7.5 assists. We know Donovan can play make. He's only at 4.5. I mean, so I don't know. I would just stay away, man. They're tempting with Garland out, but these guys are gonna just split up playmaking for sure.
Yes.
And yeah, Pelicans, I can't do it, man. These guys, I mean, they're gonna have all the usage in the world, like Boston. Jamal Cain will chuck. He will chuck for sure, but I don't want to put my money on him. So this game is a pass. Easy pass, guys. Easy pass. Okay. Pass. Next game should be a good one. We've already seen this matchup. Bulls at Bucks. Only key note here for the Bulls is Patrick Williams is out. He's been dealing with an injury. No surprise here. Yeah, he's sitting out. Now, the Bulls can go two different ways here. They can either start Julian Phillips, who has been subbing in for Patrick Williams, or if they want to try to match up with Giannis the best they can, they could go with they could go with Torrey Craig, but he hasn't played in a while. So they just have no one that can stop Giannis today, man. Giannis should have his way in a big way, but his lines are high. The game could, I mean, we've seen the Bulls get blown out. So I think if you want Giannis, I think you're gonna have to go first half. But the only thing is, if Dame catches fire in the first half, he can go off, and we see Giannis go like passive at times and just go pass mode. Just depends what kind of Giannis. If you get an aggressive Giannis in the first half, he should clear his lines easily in this matchup. I mean, the Bulls are getting destroyed in the paint. The most points near the rim. Giannis went off on against them early in the season, 38 points, but he played 35 minutes. I doubt he plays that much. I bet it's going to be in the low 30s if the game gets out of hand. It's an 8.5 point spread. But yeah, Bulls bottom three in transition. Giannis loves scoring in transition. They're dead last, like I said, near defending the rim, near the rim. So Giannis should have a day. Another key metric is the Bulls give up the most assists to point guards. We always attack the assists here. They had Dame at 6.5 last night, but since then, I think they bumped him to 7.5 assists. So can stay away from that. There's massive juice on the under the 7.5. The 6.5 felt pretty good. I might use him as an alt piece and alt his assist down to 4.5. Because if we alt it down to 4.5, he's hit that in every game except one against the Nets. So, feel pretty good about that one as an all piece. Now that they have bumped him to 7.5, his regular line. Brook Lopez, they want to get him more involved. So, Doc Rivers said, yeah, they want to feed him more and him to get more involved in the offense. He played 40 minutes against the Rockets. I don't see that happening going forward. That's a ton of minutes for a guy his size and age. So he should have an easy scoring time here. Bobby Portis, revenge game as always. He hates the Bulls, but it's in Milwaukee. He gets up more so when it's in Chicago. But I mean, he could have a game for sure, especially in the first half when he tends to get more of his minutes. Do we have his first half? We do not. Perfect. Okay. His first half PRA is like something I always like to target. He plays most of his minutes in the first half. But yeah, Giannis first half. His points are fantasy. That's 30 fantasy. Ooh. Let's see how he did earlier this season in the first half. He dropped 22 fantasy, but he had 17 points. So he just looked to score. So it's kind of like the AD thing with him, right? It's like if you're gonna play him, I would split it between the fantasy and the points. Because if he's just in score mode, usually when Giannis is in score mode, he's not rebounding as much. Yeah, you see he had 3 rebounds that game. And he's just looking to score. He's not playmaking. So if he's not getting the RA, then you definitely want him to get stocked with the points. But yeah, it just depends what kind of Giannis you get. Because you see when he's not scoring, he's getting the rebounds and the assists. Stocks really haven't been there as much in the first half, though. But yeah, the points, you can even, if you're not on PrizePicks or Underdog, consider the first quarter points. Only thing with him is the minutes in the first quarter. Sometimes he's been playing 11, 12. A lot of times he'll play just 8 to 10. And you see he's not clearing this 8.5 a lot this season. But if we alt it down to 5.5, which you can on Fliff, it's about an 84% hit rate. And the juice is not too bad on that. But it's a first quarter prop. The game goes off. And Giannis isn't hitting his shots.
I'm betting you money goes under. Betting you money goes under. And just real quick, Sean first. Big Sean. J. Cole says, what up, unders? And Kev says, Curry Taco on PrizePicks. Do you like that? 21.5. Just throwing those out there.
We have a taco?
A discount. He's just calling it a taco, I believe.
Yeah, we'll get to that for sure. Yeah, and I think Andre Jackson started last game, but he only played like a handful of minutes, and then he never came back in. And they went to AJ Green, and AJ Green did pretty well. So I think AJ Green's gonna now fill in the starting spot there, the two hole. Not, doesn't make a huge impact, but something to consider. But yeah, I think you can't go wrong with Burlow, Bobby, and Giannis, and then get some Dame assist here. I think, he came back and played decent. He played 36 minutes his first game back, which was surprising, right? So I think he's a full go. He did well in that Bulls matchup. He dropped 28 points, and he had, I believe, 8 assists. Yeah, 8 assists. So no surprise, it's the Bulls. They allowed the most assists. On the Bulls side, the Bucks continue to struggle defending the 3 and scoring guards. Kobe White had his best game against them with 35 points this season. Over half his points are coming from the 3 ball. Bucks are improving a little bit now. They're bottom 9 in spot up 3-point shooting defense. Still struggling in transition. They're bottom 8 against the 3 ball. They're giving up to the wing 3-point shooters. So Kobe White definitely has scoring upside here. Might just consider altering his threes here. Most of his scoring is going to come from the 3 ball. He scored 7. He had 7 threes against the Bucks. And Levine, he went nuclear at the fourth quarter against the Pistons. He was doing nothing, and then he made 4 straight threes in a row, and then he made a couple more towards the end. He ended up with 7 threes that game, but it was all in the fourth quarter. He's been kind of up and down, man. Like, Kobe White's been getting more involved, and then Vooch obviously has a massive usage rate right now. So Vooch did okay in this game. He had 22 points, 10 rebounds. But yeah, Burlow should do okay against Burlow here. Slow getting out to the perimeter. But yeah, I never get too excited about Bulls props, but it's a high total. It's 237.5. See if it's changed. It's now to 239.5. That's, I believe, the highest total we've had on the season. So both the Hawks and Warriors and Bucks Bulls at 239.5. We're creeping towards 240. Last year we had a lot of games over 240 totals. So these two are the highest we've had, I believe, in the season. Makes sense. Bucks middle of the road in pace. Bulls still running the fastest pace. 2 bad defenses. I would say Kobe White might all his points down. The 20.5 can be sweaty if his 3 ball is not falling at a high clip. He's a very up and down 3-point shooter, like a lot of outside shooters are. And it might alt Levine's points as well, just to protect against potential blowout here. But if you feel comfortable with him, just take the regular line. Just hope it stays close, and I would run it back with Giannis and Orlo and Bobby and such. So you always just have to worry about the Bulls just getting blown out, and the Bucks are starting to improve. They're getting healthy now. Dame being back, so we'll see. And it's in Milwaukee, so that's all I got for that one. And then the next game, Pacers at Rockets. So this one has some big news on both sides. Miles Turner missed last game, and he is questionable. That's huge news because, if he's out, they're going to be so thin in the front court again. They started last game, which was surprising. They started Enrique Freeman at center. He played about 19 minutes. But then Obi Toppin ended up playing huge minutes. So it's pretty much like Obi's starting 5. But now Jarris Walker is questionable. So if Jarris Walker and Miles Turner are out, Obi's going to play huge minutes. So if you're on DFS, I would definitely consider Obi Toppin here. We'll just see what his lines are once we get the news. He was super aggressive and active offensively last game. He dropped 19 points, played the entire fourth. Yeah. Should expect him, Pascal, and Matherin to do a lot of offensive heavy lifting here. Underrated, you know what, when I think of bunk, do you know what I think of?
Who?
The word bunk?
Halliburton?
Tyrese Halliburton. This dude is the definition of bunk. And He unfortunately opened at 18.5 points. I've been monitoring him. He's one player I monitor pretty closely. Now all the books have put him down to 17.5. But on PrizePicks, he's at 18 flat. So best value there, unless you can get on Bet Rivers at 18.5. But I don't mind the under there. And the reason for that is, let's look. He has some of the biggest home road splits I've seen. At home, he's averaging about 20.8 points. And he has, a 50% hit rate on this point line. But on the road, he's averaging 12.6 points. And it only cleared this line in 2 of 8 games. Now let's look at his first half on the road.
Big 2 says Halabozo.
Alabozo, faux show.
And under, Lord under, he says.
All right, these are all his road games so far in the first half this season. He's played 8 road games, and he has not cleared this 9.5 first half points one single time this season. 7, 0, 2, 8, 5, 9, almost got there. 0, 4. And they have his first half at 9.5, but his full game is 17.5, so that doesn't add up. You add up 9.5, that should, direct addition should be 19 points full game, right? So, yet while they bumped, all the books have bumped his full game, PrizePicks has not adjusted his first half accordingly to that full game. So, I would say the first half is probably better. Only downside is if Miles Turner's out, he could pick up more shots here, but Miles Turner was out for this Toronto game, and he still didn't clear it. But he did shoot more. You can see he took 9 field goal attempts total. Prior to that, he was averaging around 6.5 field goal attempts. He just shot poorly, 1 of 5 from 3. But yeah, he's shooting about 20% from 3 on the road, and over 30% at home from 3. So massive home road splits here. He does not like playing on the road. Maybe he just doesn't like the hotels. I don't know. So I like that as a core piece. And then the other core piece in this game, Jalen Green is questionable. He's sick. If he's out, massive boost, obviously, to Van Vliet in terms of just ball handling. But Sengun usage goes way up. I looked at on-off court tool. His usage goes up and his fantasy point per minute goes up. And if Miles Turner's out, Sengun should have a feast against his thin front court, because Pacers don't have Isaiah Jackson. They won't have Miles Turner. Jarris Walker could be out too. So you're going to have like an undersized Obi Toppin out there. Yeah, it's gonna be ugly for the Pacers in the front court. Sengun should have his way, and then even better if like icing on the cake if Jalen Green is out too. Hurdle dropped 30 points, 15 rebounds against the same front court without Miles Turner. So
now,
yeah,
if Miles Turner's out, you still like Halliburton under first half? Just don't like it as much?
I'd love it if he's in.
Right.
But I'd still say it's a solid play. It's just you're just banking on continuing to miss his shots, because you can't see his shot volume did go up in that game with Miles Turner out.
Okay.
He went up to that 9 field goal attempts, so he took about about 3 more shots than his average first half.
So the scary part is PrizePicks is the only place that has that. So are we hoping that they just leave it up if Turner's in? We're waiting for that, right, to play it?
Maybe they just don't change it, because that's just always his line every slate, 9.5.
Well,
so maybe they just leave it. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll just hold
not
off.
Like fantasy line. Usually, PrizePicks will just pull fantasy lines when
Players are rolled in or out.
Yeah.
Okay. So if Miles is in, we're slamming that under 9.5. And if Miles is at, and we're waiting until. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think obviously, if Jalen Green's out, it's gonna be a boost to Amon Thompson, and then Eason is in a smash spot. But man, they juiced him. This is what I feared. Look out for his fantasy. I'll definitely play him in DFS if Jalen Green's out. He's going to go against the scrub of the scrubs unit, second unit of the Pacers, which they don't even really have a second unit right now, especially in the front court. He should eat on the glass. Yeah, he should dominate. But his lines right now are pretty high. I always just take either fantasy if I can, if they give it to us, or his PR. And I'm not seeing a PR line. They're probably just going to wait on Jalen Green, so wait on that. But yeah, I would say Sengun's priority one in this matchup. If Miles Turner's out, I mean his lines are juiced. I think it's already baked into his lines with potentially Jalen Green being out.
Cool. So we got Hallie if he's in, and we got Hallie if Turner's in, and Sengun if Turner's out.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Easy enough.
And the lines I like for Sengun, his fantasy. I was gonna look out for his fantasy, but they have it spot on. They have it at 47.5. I'm projected for 48 fantasy. You can maybe tweak that a little bit if Jalen Green's out, bump it a little bit up. But yeah, you have to worry about blowout too. And then I like his alt PR and his alt points. You can alt his points to 17.5, and it was like minus 250 or something like that, 300. So it wasn't too bad. We can just quickly check what the current line is. Obviously, if Jalen Green's ruled out, I'm sure those lines are gonna adjust even more so. But the thing with Sengun is just like he needs a high shot volume to get there because he's obviously not making threes really. All right, so 17.5 is minus 370. I feel much better about that than cheering on for Sengun to get more than 22.5 points. That's just so high for him. He's just going to dominate the usage completely. So the 17.5 I feel better about. Or you can do the alt PR, which is a little bit worse value, but yeah. Van Vliet's been playing really well lately. He's finally come back around. So if you want to take a stab at him, totally makes sense. But yeah, he's on a little scoring streak here. Shot volume has gone up, but I think Sengun has a better matchup here. And then Amen Thompson, obviously, like I said, gets a huge boost. And I don't touch Jabari or the villain ever. Yeah, that's about it, man. I think you could consider Sengun double-double. It was at minus 250 last night. Let's see what it's at. Because his rebound line's at 11.5. And if you like his rebounding upside here, I think you just take the double-double. Okay, went up a little bit. It's minus 285. So juice.
So if Turner's out, are you going to his double-double for sure?
I think so. So.
I like that as a parlay piece. Hopefully he can get 10 rebounds.
You never know. It's just Jabari if Jabari comes in, if Jabari just out rebounds sometimes, and then if Eason plays more minutes, Eason is a rebound glass hog. So on the season, if we take him down to 9.5, he's at about 73% hit rate on that. Yeah, it's interesting. He played his most minutes he's played all season. 39 minutes. He only had 7 rebounds against the Bucks. A lot of these games he didn't get it is because of minutes. 22 minutes, 5 rebounds. 24 minutes, 5 rebounds. 27, 9 rebounds. So you just need to play his normal 32 to 33 minutes, and you feel pretty good about it, except this Bucks game. And I think what happened there was Eason. Let me see. Eason had 14 rebounds. So, yeah, like I said, he's a glass hog. And then Jabari usually eats into his rebounds. Jabari did nothing in this game. 2 rebounds, 25 minutes. What did you do, Jabari? 4 points, 2 rebounds in 25 minutes. This guy, stay away, man. He's not it. That's all I got. Matherin keeps dominating usage and scoring, but yeah, Rockets not too bad on defense, and they're actually really good on transition defense. Yeah, so I'm good, man. I'm good on that. Okay. I mean, I will say Miles Turner's out. It's definitely a boost to Siakam. We took his PR last game. It's a tougher matchup, though. I mean, the Raptors are very soft in the paint. Yeah, this is a little bit tougher matchup for him. But his lines are still pretty low, 20.5. I mean, he got up to 22.5 when Miles Turner was ruled out last slate. So, but the matchup was a lot easier. All right, moving along. Sixers at Grizzlies. Tyrese Maxey was upgraded to questionable. He's probably going to play, especially since Kyle Lowry is ruled out. So what we'll probably get is we'll probably get Maxey starting at point, Jared McCain at shooting guard, Paul George at small forward, Caleb Martin at power forward, and Embiid at the usual center position, and then Oubre will continue to come off the bench. So just make sure he's actually starting. We'll see. I mean, he's going to be on a minutes limit for sure. Um, and then, yeah, they're catching the Grizzlies on a back-to-back. Even though it's in Memphis, the Grizzlies are on a back-to-back. Massive pace-up spot for the Sixers, who are bottom 3 in pace, to get to go against the top 2 in pace Grizzlies here. But Maxey being back and playing minutes, limited minutes, is just going to dilute everything. I think I'm just going to stay away. It's going to mess up the rotation. It's going to make things tricky to project. Embiid's been a solid under, but his teammates are calling him out, including Maxey, telling him like he needs to be involved more in practice and training and prepping. So maybe it lights a fire under him. I don't know. Embiid's going to wake up sooner or later, like we saw Wemby, right? So I don't want to be on the wrong side of that when he wakes up. He's like a sleeping giant at this point. And yeah, he's going to have a pretty easy matchup when Brandon Clark's not out there. And Jaren Jackson, he banged up his shoulder, got injured last game, but he's not on the injury report today. And I'm kind of surprised that Desmond Bane is not sitting out on a back-to-back. But just look out. You never know. He might be a late scratch. Because this is his first back-to-back on the season since returning. And they've been really limiting his minutes, capping him at like 29. Yeah, 29 every single game. He's played in one back-to-back, played 28 minutes. But that was early in the season, a month ago. So just watch out for that. He could sit. Marcus Smart was already ruled out. I got nothing really here, man. I mean, Jaren Jackson's crushing his fantasy. Every slate he's getting like 40+. But obviously this is not the ideal matchup here. The Sixers have been pretty solid in the front court, especially in the beat back. So, I got nothing here for either team really. Scottie Pippen continues to play only 25 minutes, so this game is going to be interesting. Next game, Blazers at Thunder. Thunder coming off tough loss, being heavy favorites against the Spurs in a cup game. Spurs just shot lights out from the perimeter. Harrison Barnes had a fake game. Keldon Johnson had a fake game. And then the rookie Castle played well. And our boy Zach Collins did well. Thunder tried to hang with them. SGA dropped like 32 points. Jalen Williams went off, got his fantasy. But they're on a back-to-back here. Still 12.5 point favorites. Let's start with the Blazers. Ayton remains out. And Simons was upgraded to questionable, so that kind of makes me think he's going to play. He's dealing with that illness that he's been dealing with. But we'll see. Maybe they should run out Scoot still and let Simons recover. There's no rush to bring Simons back. But I think Sharp is going to dominate shot volume. They made that very clear. So I think if you want Sharp, you probably catch him at low lines because of the matchup. But I don't know. I don't take overs versus OKC, even if the guy has like a ton of shot volume here.
Addy B says, any Thunder players that you like? Speaking of Thunder.
Well, Hartenstein. I was going to get to that, but Hartenstein was upgraded to questionable first time all season. So he might make his return today, but he's going to play limited minutes, probably 20 minutes max, right? But that's going to hurt Jalen Williams' fantasy upside because Jalen was getting a lot of minutes at the 5, so probably make me like Jalen less. SGA is going to have a tough matchup here, surprisingly. I mean, Kamara is I looked into the top like on-ball defenders, and he's top 10 this season. He's been playing really well, and they give him the assignment. So, no, I don't really like anything Thunder here. I mean, Jalen's just been doing everything with Chet out. I mean, he had 6 assists, 10 rebounds. He almost had a triple-double. Those rebounds are going to go way down if Hartenstein plays, even if Hartenstein plays 20 minutes. So we got to wait in the Hartenstein news for sure. I mean, I want to consider SGA's under here, but I think they're just going to come out mad and angry after that loss. But, I mean, if you just look at the defensive metrics, Blazers top 10 pick and roll ball handling defense, top 10 in isolation. That's all SGA's like bread and butter, right? Pick and roll, isolation, especially with Chet out. Loves isolation. They're not really fouling. They're about average. Above average. So, only thing with SGA is like he's hitting his 3-ball now, man. He said he worked on it in the off season, and you can see it. He knocked down 4 threes yesterday? 5. 5 of 8. That's really efficient for SGA. But yeah, if the game does blow out, like Vegas thinks it will, he's gonna take less threes. Probably score less than. If it's blowing out, he won't come in the fourth quarter, and he should play 28 minutes. Yeah, so he plays about 28 minutes in a blowout. It's right there in the line, man. I think it's too risky for the under or over. I mean, if I had a lean, I would say the under, but it's scary taking under an SGA and at home and coming off a loss. On paper, it's saying to take the under, but I don't know if I can do it. Jalen, he could have a hard time scoring here. Although the Blazers are bad in transition, having the rookie Klingon and Time Lord, it's going to be hard scoring near the rim, and Jalen loves driving to the basket to get a lot of his points. So it could be tough sledding for him, for sure. But in terms of like on-ball defense, he'll probably have the easier matchup than SGA having Kamara on him. Yeah, let's wait and see on Hartenstein. Say if Hartenstein plays, maybe consider some PRA under on SG on Jalen, but he's just been crushing it, like I said, with Chet out. So that, yeah, I wouldn't. The fantasy upside is definitely going to be there because these Blazers turn the ball over at a very high clip, and so while they're holding it down at times scoring wise, they're just giving up a ton of fantasy. They're top 5 fantasy allowed to point guard, top 3 to the shooting guard, and top 3 against the small forward because they're just giving up so many stocks. And SGA and Jalen Williams are really good at racking up stocks. So, but they're high lines and a potential blowout. So be careful treading there. Quickly moving along. Oh, on the Blazers side, only thing I have interest is the front court, man. The OKC continues to give up the most offensive rebounds. They're number 1, most offensive rebounds allowed. And that's the rookie Donovan's specialty. He averages about 3 offensive rebounds. We don't have the offensive rebound prop for him. Last night he was at 7.5 rebounds. I like that. I think he's bumped since then. Okay. Some books he's 8.5. Other books he's 7.5 with juice on the over. Only thing with him is he's gonna split the minutes with Time Lord. So last game he only played 21 minutes. And Time Lord ended up picking up more minutes. That probably is gonna fluctuate back and forth between the two. So I'm probably just going to split it up. Have Donovan in one slip, his rebounds are PR, and then Time Lord's same thing, rebounds are PR. It's a great rebound spot for both of them. Centers are eating, but it also depends on Hartenstein. So if Hartenstein plays, Donovan's going to go against him most of his minutes. So then Time Lord probably has the easier rebound matchup and scoring matchup in the paint against the second unit. So look out for a Time Lord. Robert Williams props. Probably won't get him until we get the Simons news. Once they get the final lineups, that's when they usually give the bench guys props about 30 minutes before lock. So look out for that. Yeah, if Hartenstein plays, I'd like Time Lord more than the rookie Donovan. Okay. Moving along. Knicks at Suns. What was the key news we had here? We had just catching up. Okay. Yeah, nothing for the Knicks, and then Nurk remains questionable. Yeah, Suns have played a lot of games lately, right? So Devin Booker, man, he's just been up and down, mainly down. Tough matchup for him here. The Knicks are in a great spot on the perimeter here. They still are dead. Okay, they're second to last in pick and roll defense. They get torched. Like Luka dropped 40 on them. Fox 29. Luka 30. Yeah, they're getting crushed in pick and roll, and that's Brunson's bread and butter. 34% of his points come from pick and roll. Great spot for Brunson. But you just got to worry about Cat eating up all the usage, which, yeah, that's what Cat does, right? So I love Brunson in this matchup. But, yeah, I always worry about Cat, and then OG and Mikal have been taking more shots, so you just need Brunson to get more active. He's just kind of taking the wayside to all those guys this season so far. But he has the potential to have big games, which we've seen here. So I would consider either the fantasy or the points here for Brunson. Fantasy line's pretty spot on at 42.5. You just need the game to stay competitive. I mean, the Suns played a lot of games and they're down bad, right? So at least it's in Phoenix, and this is their last game before they're on a long 5-day break. But yeah, that's about it for that game. I'm not going to touch anything on the Suns. Maybe consider D-Books under, but you don't know which games he's going to dominate and just decide to actually shoot a lot. That's about it, man. Hawks Warriors. Jalen Johnson's still questionable, so it's hard to call it for the Hawks. I will say Trae Young has a really tough matchup here. Warriors are still top 5 in pick and roll defense. They like to blitz the main primary ball handler up at the top of the court when they bring it over the half court. They make it just really hard on the primary ball handling scores. They're number 2 in 3-point defense against the primary point guard. Number 3 in pick and roll ball handling defense. They are fouling, top 5 in fouls, so that's good for Trae. And the Warriors are number 2 in transition. So tough matchup here for Trae Young. But does he bounce back after that really weird game he had against the Kings where he played 36 minutes and decided just to pass and took only 7 shots? Took 2 3-pointers. That's crazy for him. But he had 19 assists, so he just decided to pass. He could do the same thing here if the Warriors are blitzing him, but maybe the Warriors don't have to worry about him as much if guys like Jalen Johnson play. So I think it really matters if Jalen plays or not, if you want to consider Trae Young's under. And then Clint should have a good rebound spot here, especially on the offensive glass. The Warriors top 3 still giving up offensive rebounds. Yeah, the number 3 most offensive rebounds. So you want to take Clint's 3.5 offensive rebound. The only thing is like his minutes. I mean, he could play anywhere from 20 to 24 minutes here. Hopefully he plays on the high 25-minute upside. but it can be volatile with that limited minutes. And it also depends on Jalen Johnson's status. If Jalen's out, would feel better about Clint's rebound upside here because Jalen, like Eason, is a glass hog. But on the Warriors side, yeah, the Hawks, you know how to attack them, right? 3-point shooting. So great spot for, well, that's what the Warriors like to do, right? So Steph and Buddy Hield, Lindy Waters, all these guys. I would only consider Lindy's 3-point prop because that's all he does is shoot threes, especially from the wing. Buddy should have a solid 3-point opportunity here. I mean, last season when he was on Philly, head to head, I mean, he dropped 6-3, 4 threes on him. Yeah, they just the Hawks continue to bleed threes, but the only thing with them, the Hawks, is he against primary point guard are giving up the most threes. The only thing is Dyson Daniels has been shadowing the primary ball handler and making it really tough. So he's top 10 in defensive rating. I looked at the metrics, and he's done. I mean, the stocks show it. The amount he's number 1 in deflections. I mean, he gave Fox a hard time in that game, and won them the game. Won the Hawks the game at the last second. Fox went in for 5 seconds left. Kings down 1. Fox has it. I mean, and then Dyson just, look at this, strips them right there, steals it right out of the breadbasket. So he's just really crafty with his hands, really good on ball defender, good near the rim too, defender. He covered the perimeter, can do it all. He's going to shadow Steph the whole time. Now Steph is so good at off ball movement, and he can get open even if someone's all over him. So he's going to find his shots. He's especially going to find his threes here, right? So if I was going to take a Steph prop, I'm not just going to take his points. I think if you want him, I would just take his threes, man, because most of his shot volume is going to come from the 3-ball because of Steph, and then also it's the Hawks. They allow the most 3-point attempts and the most 3-point made. He's not going to want to try to drive on Dyson and then deal with Dyson on switches and cutting to the basket. He's just going to hit him where they get hurt the most, and that's from the 3-ball. So if you want Steph, I would just take his threes, but it's a tough matchup for him. I think what I saw, and I don't know if the Hawks are going to do it again. Maybe they just did it to Fox because they knew Fox didn't have anybody to help him out, but they were trapping him a lot too. Not only did they have Dyson shadowing him, but they were throwing multiple guys at him, and that's just probably because they knew he had no one, right? And so he was passing to Keon Ellis, and Keon was just wide open for threes, and he hit like a career high 8 to 9 threes that game. So if they do the same thing to Steph here, which happens to Steph a lot in general, but if they do the same thing to Steph, I mean, you're going to have Wiggins with wide open wing corner threes, Buddy Hield when he's on the court, Kuminga driving to the basket. So I think a lot of these secondary guys should score with ease, and then it should drive up Steph's assist rate here as well. And his line's 5.5 on FanDuel. Some places it's 6.5, but if you can catch it at 5.5, I wouldn't mind it. Might alt it to 4.5. It's not a bad value. It's got about an 80% hit rate on that. Just kind of like my game script theory, schematically, like how they're going to treat him. What I saw recently, what they did against Fox. Yeah, so a lot of these secondary guys should have open 3 pointers here in Thames. So being at home, a little boost to him on the 3-point shooting. So I'm going to look at the secondary guys. And yeah, I think it's really big whether Jalen plays too for some of these Warriors props too. Because Wiggins will probably get the assignment on Jalen, which he's going to have to put a lot of energy defensively on him. But if Jalen's out, then that frees up Wiggins on the offensive side. Okay. Yeah, Wiggins mainly spot-up shooting, and that's where the Hawks are struggling. And Buddy Hield, he's normally 12.5, but he's getting the juice to 14.5 because of the Hawks matchup. All right, we're almost there. Last game on the docket, Magic at Clippers. Very ugly pace here. Bottom 10 almost for both teams. Magic 2.5-point favorites. a whopping 206 total. Now that is the lowest we've seen this season. So this slate has the lowest total we've had so far, and it has the highest total it had this season. Wendell Carter was questionable, but now he is confirmed out. He's not making his return today, so we get Goga, and that's great, right? Because I want Zubac unders here. Now, it can't be scary because Powell's out. Norman Powell accounted for a lot of shots. Zubac's probably going to take a lot more shots here, but it's the toughest matchup he's going to have by far this season. The Magic front court is the best defensively. Goga and Jonathan Isaac, I looked it up. They are top 10 defensive rating. And that's why they allow the least points and least fantasy to centers. And Zubac got bumped down. Perfect. So he was 15.5 last night. Some books, we still catch him at 15.5. Pinnacle's massive juice on the under 15.5, minus 153. Yeah, I like that. Felt a lot better at 15.5. Because if we take it up to 15.5, he goes from a 53% hit rate at 14.5 to 46% at 15.5. Another one, I think I'm going to split him up in two different ways. I think he's going to have a hard time rebounding as well because a lot of two-box rebounds come on the offensive glass. And the Magic are number one at that, right? They allow the least amount of offensive rebounds. If you want to take a shot, you just go with that theory. You just go straight under Zubac's offensive rebound. He could get lucky though. Offensive rebounds sometimes is just how the ball bounces. So if he's playing more minutes with Powell just out there needed for offense, you never know. So if you don't want to go that route, just do the volatility, which I think it's gonna be tough for him to get those offensive rebounds. We took him against Utah because they're like top 3. OKC top 3 as well, and he just got over that line with 4. But good rebounding teams like Houston fell just under it, but you never know. But I was considering not only the points but the fantasy as well, because the Magic are allowing the least fantasy. He's at 35 fantasy on a normal day or normal matchup. I have him projected for 37. So, yeah, I think we could take it, shave off some of this due to the matchup, and then also the RA, man. I think it's just overall the rebounding. And great, he was 13.5 RA last night, and all the books have adjusted and put him at 12.5. So I wouldn't do that at 12.5. 13.5 felt a lot better, because again, he goes at 12.5 is 66% hit rate, and he at 13.5 he's at a 40%. Felt much better at that, especially in this matchup.
What about PRA?
The PRA, same logic here, but I think if I had to choose, I would choose the fantasy under here, just because the Magic aren't allowing really any stocks or fantasy upside.
Okay.
Man, the juice has really moved to the under. Last night it was about even money line, and now look at Pinnacle minus 156. So if you don't have access to fantasy, you can't consider fantasy lines. You can't consider the PRA, but just in case like he is scoring just because Powell's out, I wanted to split it where, I split it like go under his points at 15.5. If he burns me on the scoring because Powell's out, that's fine. I'll take his under on the RA because that means he's not passing. He doesn't have Powell to kick it out and convert his assists on the pick and roll. And then the rebounding is going to be really tough because, the Magic allow the least rebounds at centers. So I kind of split it that way, but now the RA is down to 12.5. So, yep, kind of a mute point on that. Okay. And then, Harden should take more shots here, but it's a Wednesday. Can you trust him? It's his best day of the week. And they didn't bump his lines. They kept him at 21.5. He's been at 22.5 before. And now you take out Powell. It's kind of interesting. I guess just because his offensive production has just been down lately. A lot of these were weekend games. Warriors, he just passed a ton. He had 16 assists on 19 potentials. He can't just pass here with Powell out. He can't just resort to Powell. And then Magic side, I'm good, man. This pace down spot for them. I will say that Jalen Suggs fantasy is pretty low at 28. I'm projected for 30, about 33 fantasy. He's just been taking a back seat to Franz, because Franz has just been dominating the usage, right? So, but yeah, 28 is pretty low for him. It's just a really average matchup. I mean, the Clippers defense is actually pretty solid overall, so he's going to have to get it done with the peripherals. Ty Lue always has a solid defense, schematically how he runs his defense. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm lukewarm on Harden, Suggs. Makes sense with Harden with Powell out, and then Suggs. I think his lines are a little bit nerfed because of recent production, but I think could shift. I think if Franz struggles a little bit, Suggs will have to pick up the slack, right? So, but I hate relying on Suggs scoring. Yeah, shot volumes just went down recently because of Franz. Franz has taken 24, 23, 24, 25 shots. I mean, he's dominating the usage, and Suggs is getting about half of that volume. But it's the NBA. It's a long season. Things like this don't sustain. Fluctuation. Maybe Franz comes down to low 20 or 18 and 19 field goal attempts. So, yeah. And we don't have, we have go-go props. Okay. I usually don't attack Zubac, but they are allowing the Clippers are allowing the fourth most fantasy to center. So if you wanted, anytime I take a go-go prop, it's his fantasy. And I don't think we have his fantasy yet because they were waiting on the Wendell Carter news. So look out for it. If it's at 30.5 or less, I would consider it. That's it, guys. Anything else? Any questions?
Big Ren says Mikal Bridges Day, non-tournament. I think they'll let him eat.
Yeah, revenge game. Good call. He's back in Phoenix. Yeah.
And Nathan says, "What up, prop gang? About to sign back up into the Discord. Let's get it."
Nice, Nathan. Glad to hear it, man. Love it. All right, I'll put him on there for you, Ren, Mikal. But probably just fantasy, right? That's what you always take when you take Mikal props. He's at 20.5. It's reasonable. I'm projected for 30 fantasy. If he plays on a low side of 38 minutes, he's been playing more than that. So in competitive games, he's been playing like 40 minutes. Tibbs way. Let's see. Yeah, look at 45 minutes, 41 minutes, 43 minutes. This is all regulation, man. So, I mean, if we bump him up, let's bump him up to 41 minutes and hope the game stays close. Yeah, that puts him at 32 fantasy, well above that.
Big Kev says Capella PR question.
Yeah. If Jalen Johnson's out. Yes.
If Jalen Johnson's out. J. Cole says handshake. Towns rebound, Kevin says. What about Cat's rebounds?
Cat rebounds. What are we at? Is it 10.5 or 11.5? 11.5? How
about Booker under points?
Devin Booker under points, man.
Woo! Dancing with the devil, as you might say.
You are, but look at this, man. It's just like, is he going to take 29 shots or is he going to take 14?
Right.
Which one is he going to do? To me, it just seems like motivation for him, and how many games they played over this stretch of 9 and 10 days, and that's why they get like a week break after this. I don't know. Maybe since he took the day off this game against Orlando, he comes out chucking.
Yeah, who knows?
He took 10 shots against OKC, and then next game took 30.
J. Cole says Tibbs with 3 crying out loud laughing faces.
For what?
Tibbs. Tee-hee-hee.
Oh, yeah, with his minutes, man. He's crazy. He's trying to kill his players. He wants them dead by the end of the season.
He said, fuck it. Go, guys. You get paid. Go. Run. You're tired.
Yeah, you got to like it for fantasy, right? I mean.
Heck yeah.
And with that in mind, if the game stays close, I mean, you just want fantasy for these guys because minutes equal fantasy, and yeah, they're just out there 40+ minutes.
You know what else,
should
bro?
get-
I was telling you earlier. I'm gonna tell the small amount of people watching us right now. We're changing this YouTube channel. It's about to be a new one tomorrow because they hate us. This algorithm's fucking us, and we're changing it up tomorrow. So we're gonna have a new channel tomorrow, guys.
I think it was those past videos, man, with the explosives and
The fuck you prize picks and all that. They didn't like that. Fuck them. So we'll leave this channel for the fuck you channels and the fuck you songs, and we'll go nice on them starting tomorrow.
Yep. All right. Today we're gonna have to really follow news. I got somewhat notes written down, but this is all gonna change based on news. Yeah, this is a day to really follow the news closely because we got a lot of pending stuff, and there's some bench pieces we want to look out for. So we're gonna have to really follow it in Discord, and maybe we can find some edge because there might be some late scratches too with so many teams being on a back-to-back today.
That's the way to win. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams. I mean, what, 6 teams on a back-to-back? 1, 2, 3, 4, at least a handful. So, in Memphis, they could definitely, I would not be surprised to have a late scratch. Some of those guys, just how much they restrict their minutes and treat them. Yeah, I mean, these Knicks guys, it's just, do you think I mean, Vegas thinks the game's going to stay close, 5.5 point spread, but the Suns, man, if Booker keeps playing like that, it's down to 4.5 now. How do they expect the Suns to hang if D-Book is just chilling? So Vegas is giving D-Book the credit at home, man. So I'm not going to mess with D-Book. Vegas must know something. I don't know, man. Because, like, that's weird. Like, Knicks have been blowing teams out and dominating weaker competition. And this is definitely, they're catching the Suns tired, limited, not a full unit, missing their key players. So, only other thing I have for this is it's not only a Mikal revenge game, it's a Cameron Payne revenge too.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy.
So get you some campaign.
No, don't. Kev says late lotto slip in the cord, please. He needs a lotto slip. Kev lives on lotto slips.
We'll try our best. Hey, we went 5 of 6 on the one yesterday that we posted.
5 of 6. I want 6 of 6.
Well, I said it was the one that missed was 80's points. He fell short by 3 points, but it's also I said to play his fantasy as well if you can, and split up like that. And I should have just posted it like that. I mean, just to split it up.
Yeah, 5 of 6 is fucking unacceptable.
It would have won. It would have won 6 of 6 if I posted both slips of the first half fantasy and the first half points. But
no, we're pissed.
That was a lot of work. With limited time. But yeah, this is it's an interesting slate. I'll put it.
Bro,
like that.
do you think I sign up for this Discord to go 5 out of 6? I want 6 out of 6 today, or else, bro.
You don't play 6. You play.
That's true.
You play it smart. You play 1 or 2.
That's true. Sorry, I was just checking.
I mean, 6 is just for the fun. For me, at least, it's like a challenge to hit a 6 leg on a site like PrizePicks or Underdog. But I mean, the smart thing to do is 2 picks always. I mean, we hit our 2 pick last night. It was the free throw made 2 picker of SGA and Lucas. So
yeah, you just said PrizePicks, and I was like, oh, I was gonna call them shit picks, but then I was like, oh, they're gonna get mad at us, and then I was like, you know what? For the next channel tomorrow, I'll make a new song. It'll say "We love you, PrizePicks," and then we'll be way up. Anyways, new plan.
Yeah. All right, you guys got anything else? Any more questions? Anything you want to look into? I think I covered everything as fast as I could. Halliburton, just don't go fake from 3. It's gonna take about 5 threes.
I just want Miles Turner in so I can nuke Halliburton under first half and cheer for him to airball.
It's fun watching him do nothing in the first half.
Unders are so nice.
They are.
You know, there's over 50% of bettors that have never bet an under, and they don't even want to. That's why the unders
They
are
don't
so
like
amazing.
cheering for 'em.
Oh,
I think majority, like especially like casual bettors, like they want to cheer for the player to do well.
yeah.
Most of the time, it's more fun. For
Yeah.
them, so
They don't even know the lines. They're just like, oh, he's going to do good today. And they're like, oh, whatever. Just bet is over. What is it? Oh, he's getting that. Yeah. Yep. It's pretty good out
Yep.
there.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, you flipped through 8 games in an hour. Can't beat that.
Yep. And we got normal lock. No, we got. Oh, good. That's right. We have we got a little bit extra time today. Starts 30 minutes later than normal
Nice.
at 7:40 Eastern. So, and in that game, not touching it anyway, but the Bulls Bucks start as well at 7:40. So that one we care about for some props. So
Come on, Miles Turner. Say you'll play.
you want him to play?
Heck yeah. I want Hallie under with all my
If
money.
he doesn't, on the bright side, if he doesn't, it's a boost to Sengun.
It is, but I'd rather cheer for an under than an over.
I feel you.
Bitch,
But, I mean-
Halliburton.
I showed you the data. Like Halliburton, all 8 road games has never cleared the line, and Miles Turner played in all those games as well,
Yeah.
but except one, the Raptors,
Mm-hmm.
and he still went under.
Yeah, he'll probably
So-
still go under. But
It just
it
makes it a little more scary because the shot
Yeah.
volume will go up.
just depends if is it going to be 1 unit or 2 units of cheering.
I mean, if
bet.
he's out, we have to see the starting lineup, and if Obi Toppin moves to the starting lineup, that would be really nice because then Obi will chuck.
Yeah. Probably be
Because
fine.
Obi didn't start this game, so
Honestly, it'll be fine either way, I bet.
unless we just get variance wrong. So, and he just has a fake 3-point shooting game.
I'm excited
But-
about making a new YouTube channel right now. Actually, we got an extra half an hour to do that now. I'm about to go do that right now.
Nice.
Get this back
Nice,
cracking.
well-
Fuck all this.
I appreciate that, man, and all your hard work
Well,
in this. And I'm gonna
Hey,
dive into the
that-
slate some more.
I appreciate everyone who subbed so far. Whoever the 455 people are, hopefully they'll see that we switched it up. But I think it's worth it to give it a shot so we can get back in that algorithm and catch some new people. And all the other people in
Yeah,
the
we're
Discord,
not-
they'll see it still.
Yeah, we're not an algorithm at all.
We
So
aren't.
if you go to like DFS or props on YouTube, it's like because
They said fuck you,
I-
PrizePicks too much.
I think it was his vulgar videos with the emoji middle finger,
Yeah, and all your dick pic talks.
probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right. Well,
All
we'll
right,
change
guys.
it up tomorrow.
Well, watch out for news. Yeah. Fresh
Cool.
start. And
Yeah.
watch out for news and chop it up on Discord.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.